Hello, friends. You may have noticed that it's been
some time between all the things, but that's okay.
I'll tell you my secret, sir. I lie to myself. Every morning when I wake up, I say everything's gonna be okay, but I'm lying. And I don't know how much longer I can do it. Have a swell night, sir.
My mental health is tearing my life apart, but now it's better. I spent over 8 months trying to become an even better recluse than I already was, and now everyone's telling us that that's over now. So, recalibrated, did some new things, got some new plants started to die. Oh my god, Soul, what happened? Oh my god. Anyway, I have a plan now. The plan involves us learning something new every day. Today, we're gonna learn something great, okay? Are you ready for this? You're not ready for this. So I'm gonna ask you a question. Have you ever tried to just move the moon? Okay, but have you tried it? Have you even bothered? Have you even bothered to try to just move the moon? I didn't think so, okay? Because you're not thinking big picture. So I was minding my business on my Twitter. And my Twitter, I tell people, my Twitter is very well curated. Some people don't even bother with Twitter because it can be a very toxic place. But I think my Twitter is a pretty good place. It's mostly just Black art, animation things, positive animation things, not ugly animation Twitter. Positive animation Twitter, positive Black Twitter, positive Black women Twitter, nice jokes, and voice acting things. That's pretty much my Twitter experience. It's been very positive. I try to curate it very well and keep things going in a fully functional way. But the problem is, when you go on desktop Twitter, okay, bad things happen on desktop Twitter. And I'm going to explain it to you. So when you go on desktop Twitter, for all of my friends that don't do anything with Twitter, when you go there, you could be perusing your own safe space, and then on the side, they'll put random trending topics on there on the side of the window. And I was minding my business, and I saw a little something like this. Gomer asks if federal agencies can change Earth's or Moon's orbits to fight climate change. Do you ever just see something so mind-bendingly dumb that it makes you rethink your own sense of common sense and wonder, well, wait a minute. Okay, well, maybe I'm missing something. Okay. Now, when I see that a congressperson has asked something on Twitter, it's usually not good. So I assumed I was right to think it was ridiculous. But I said the moon, that doesn't make sense. Okay, let's look. Representative Louis Gohmert on Tuesday asked a representative from the U.S. Forest Service if it was possible to alter the orbit of the moon or the Earth as a way of combating climate change. So he's speaking with this woman, the associate deputy chief of the National Forest System, in a House Natural Resources Committee hearing. And he says, I understand what's been testified to the Forest Service and the BLM. I don't know why he said, I guess I do know why he said that, but he's actually talking about the Bureau of Land Management when he asks, you want very much to work on the issue of climate change. Is there anything that the National Forest Service or Bureau of Land Management can do to change the course of the moon's orbit or the Earth's orbit around the sun? Obviously, they would have profound effects on our climate. So that's what this grown man said, okay? That's what this grown man said, which... This is why Millennials and Gen Z aren't having children anymore. This is why. This is why we're not having children anymore, okay? Because we have grown people. This man is, I think this man is in his 60s. This grown man asked the Forest Service. Let me look up the Forest Service. What is the Forest Service? An agency of the USDA, manages public lands and national forests and grasslands. The Forest Service is also the largest forestry research organization in the world, okay? What does it do? The job of Forest Service managers is to help people share and enjoy the forests while conserving the environment for generations to come. Protection and management of natural resources on national forest system lands. Research on all aspects of forestry. Community assistance and cooperation with state and local governments, forest industries, and private landowners to help protect and manage non-federal forest and associated range and watershed lands, whatever. And international assistance in formulating policy and coordinating U.S. support for the protection and sound management of the world's forest resources. What in that description would make your brain think that they're going to be able to move the moon? I think this just hit me really personally because I love the moon. I love the moon. It makes me feel calm whenever we get a nice full moon on a bright clear night. I feel good about the moon. I like the moon. I you know, we don't give the moon enough credit. But this man is giving the moon too much credit. Or maybe they're giving, I don't know. This grown man asked if the Forest Service is going to be able to move the moon, okay? He said that a past director of NASA had once told him that orbits of the moon and the Earth were changing. So someone told you that through the celestial physics of outer space themselves, okay? Not actually through any man-made efforts to do so, but through the workings of space itself. We must have done that. How can we do it more? What do you mean? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? Anyway, this is why we're not having kids, because grown-ass people like this take these jobs in Congress. And this isn't even a partisan thing. People are saying ridiculous things like this with no research and no basic understanding of what they're talking about. They do this all the time in every party, every generation. I should say generation. I can't even say generation because this is the point. These are the same people, okay? This man is almost 70 years old. He's been doing this job for 15 years. He's not gonna quit and get a new job. They never quit and get new jobs or anything. They do this just about until they die, okay? And they sit there in these jobs, in these positions, and they don't ever grow or learn from anything. In fact, a lot of times they're flat out just rejecting basic realities and sciences and facts. This man is asking the Forest Service to move the moon. Can you just move the moon? Can't you just move the moon? Why hasn't anybody thought of that yet? So it was insulting enough, and you can find the clip. Forbes has the clip on Twitter if you want to actually watch this happen. I mean, I'm not exaggerating. He literally asked this grown woman, can't we just move the moon? I'm sure that's going to have an effect on climate change. I don't know. Probably better, right? It can't get worse, right? I don't know. It's one thing that this grown man asked a grown woman in Congress during a committee meeting to move the moon, or to figure out how to move the moon. See if anybody thought of that amongst your colleagues, okay? But what do you think this grown woman said in response to his request to figure out how to move the moon?
I would have to follow up with you on that one, Mr. Gilbert.
This is why we're not having children. This is why we're not having children, okay? There's grown people making up stupid questions about things they clearly don't have an understanding of, yet he's in this committee, the House Natural Resources Committee hearing. Why are you in here? Why are you here if you clearly don't know what you're talking about and you don't want to do any kind of research, studying, basic backstory on where you're going when you head into this meeting? Why? You have these grown people asking stupid questions that are utterly based in whatever you thought up right before you woke up in your dreams, okay? And then you have grown people responding to it with anything other than, sir, that's insane. Of course we can't move the moon. This is why. This is why we're not having children. These people that are so proud of being uneducated about the positions that they have, and these people that love being uneducated about the things they need to know about, are surrounded by people that just say, well, maybe it's possible. Maybe. I don't know. It could be. We don't know. It might work out. Well, I haven't ruled out moving the moon, so, scientific method, maybe it could work. I can't outrule it until I try it. What are you talking about? What do you mean you're gonna look at? What are you gonna look in? What are you gonna follow up with? We're not having kids. This is why. We don't want any more we don't want any more normal people to be exposed to living in a place where grown people with the biggest responsibilities in the country clearly just do not care. Clearly do not care. Don't care what y'all think. Don't care what they know. Don't care what they don't know. Don't care what they look like. Acting a damn fool. And you know what? It's still so stupid. It's still so dumb because not only did this dummy go, well, can't rule it out. Why not? Okay. She said, I'm going to follow up on that. And so this grown man said, well, if you figure out a way that you and the Forest Service can make that change, move the moon, I'd like to know. Okay. And then when people got on the internet and started making fun of this grown man for asking to move the moon, he had a follow-up tweet. And he quote tweeted somebody with the written quote because he didn't say the Bureau of Land. I'm going to give you 1/3 of a point because he did say BLM, and I don't know why he said BLM instead of the Bureau of Land Management, but that's clearly what he was talking about, but I don't know why he said it that. I don't know why he abbreviated that. And then in all of the quotes, of course, when he's quoted, they're also saying, he's quoted as asking if the Forest Service or BLM can alter the orbit of the moon. And it's kind of misleading. It wouldn't have been that big of a task to just, put it in brackets that that's what he's referring to. It's a bit dishonest. I feel like it's a bit dishonest, There's plenty of racismo in El Mundo here for us that we don't need any false flags. We don't need any, misinterpretations. So he quote tweeted somebody with the quote that says BLM, even though that's not what he's referring to. And he says, exceedingly devious how you hid the context with an ellipses in your tweet. The hearing was about the Bureau of Land Management and Climate Change. BLM stands for Bureau of Land Management. Hashtag fake news. Stands for Bureau of Land Management. But are you sure though? Are you sure? Because you're kind of asking Space Force type questions. You're asking NASA type questions at a forest hearing, at an environmental hearing for environmental protections. Didn't want to clarify any extra information, maybe some extra context that would, perhaps eliminate some of the delusion that his original question emitted. Just want to make sure. No racismo. No. No racismo. Just delusions. Yeah, this says the Earth's moon is drifting away about an inch every year on its own. And NASA, these shifts affect Earth's climate in both the short and long term, though they have a relatively minor impact on our seasons and are, well, obviously not behind global warming. So what are you talking about? How did you get the Earth and the moon are moving from your NASA friend, but not that it doesn't have anything to do with climate change and it won't help? To the extent that you still felt the need to ask this dumb question in public, in 4K. The girl, they got you on C-SPAN, being dumb. They got you in 4K, being dumb, all over the internet, and he just This really hit me in a special way. This story hit me in a special way. It really, encompassed a lot of my feelings about... Let this be a lesson. If you want to be dumb in public, don't get mad when people tell you you're being dumb. Okay? Because usually when you double down on it or try to clap back at people, you get even dumber in public. In 4K. You're on the nanny cam, guys. You're not even on the nanny cam. You're on the big giant broadcast rig in the studio, okay? You can't even be mad. When you're being dumb in public, you don't have a lot of excuses, okay? You're doing it to yourself because no one asked you to be dumb and share it with all of us, okay? We all have the right to be dumb in our own homes, but when you bring that dumb out here, you can't expect us to not have something to say, okay? Being dumb in public, we're gonna make fun of you in public. It's fair. It's the rules. Equivalent exchange. You know, I've been dumb before. I've been wrong, okay? I didn't know the difference between Arkansas and Iraq when I was 7. I was very confused. I kept seeing people talking about it on the news. And I said, Mom, why are we fighting? How are we even fighting with Iraq? It's literally surrounded by states. And she said, oh, sweetheart, no. 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 And see, I didn't share that information publicly until now, because I know that was dumb. Even 7-year-old me knew not to bring that shit up until I got home and had a safe space to reveal my dumbness. But here y'all go, just throwing it all out there. I don't know. You guys just have to stop. Stop being so dumb in public. God. Thank you for watching. You should subscribe. I like this more. I actually had fun and I actually felt inspired to talk about this story. The moon inspired me to defend her. I have a coffee. If you want to send me a coffee, Ko-fi, I don't even know what, it's got to be coffee, right? It's a coffee of a coffee. Subscribe and leave a comment. My goal, I have to get to 100,000 subscribers. And if I can get to 1,000, I'll explain it to you. But I have to. Anyway, thank you. Goodbye. Goodbye.